Hi, I'm Bert Richmond, and I'm the chairman of the second annual Cars and Cops Judged Car Show. We hold that at the Collector's Car Garage right here on the north side of Chicago, near Lane Tech and across the street from WGN. That would be 2500 West Bradley Place. The purpose of the car show is to create an awareness for the Chicago Police Memorial Foundation, which supports fallen officers and those that are catastrophically hurt and injured. The foundation takes care of their offspring's education and the families. And one of the great things that we've discovered is that America has a love affair with the automobile that transcends really all race, culture, and financial aspects. And it's a great community outreach program because everybody from all walks of life loves all of the cars. Chicago Police Memorial Foundation was established by Phil Klein, who's the managing director, and the goal is to take care of the families of fallen officers or those who are catastrophically injured on duty. This is a fundraising effort which is called Get Behind the Vest, which is the bulletproof vests. Essentially, we want to protect the cops who are protecting us. We have literally 100 years of cars. This is the year 2018, and we have several cars that are from 1920. So you've got really old cars, and we've got very modern cars that we call tuners, where the young owners have tricked them out dramatically. And we've got a lowrider that we'll take a shot of to show you in a few minutes. But it's really exciting stuff. Sports cars, exotic cars, a huge group of what we call muscle cars. Those are the cars from the 1950s and 60s that have giant motors. And of course, if you look at the cross-section of the people that are here, those are the folks that when they were teenagers, that was the car to have. Well, they're here now, and they're really worth taking a look at, and we'll show you a couple of those cars shortly. This car happens to be my pride and joy. It's a 1922 Citroen 5CV. What's interesting about this car is it was built about the same time as Model Ts, and it had electric start. You'll notice that there's a hand crank on the front, which is how most of the cars used to be started. Once we went to electric start, that enabled women to be able to drive easily because they were not out there waiting for their boyfriends or husbands to start the car for them. Anyhow, this has been a fun car to own, and as you can see from the tail end of it, it's called a boat tail roadster. It probably should go in the water backwards because that's obviously the prow, but it certainly lives up to the idea of being a boat tail roadster. The other strange thing about it is because it's got a boat tail, there really isn't a trunk. And when I first got this car, I thought having a spare tire on the running board and no door for the driver was a mistake. Believe it or not, they made 88,000 of these things from 1922 to 1926, and the driver gets in on the passenger side and then slides across the seat. We left this out during the rain because it was a great opportunity for me to wash the interior, which I've never had the courage to do. So here it is, nice, clean, and wet in Mother Nature's own car wash.
Right. How many miles or how many waves have you, does this car have?
I don't know how many waves. We haven't driven it much more than 20 miles at a crack. It starts up easily, runs well, and has been a delight. One of the fun things was finding the correct license plate, which you'll see is Illinois 1922. And it looks as new as the car, but not as old as me.
Not as young, not as young. Can you tell me about the tires? Are those tubeless?
No, tubeless tires didn't come about until the 1950s. So not only are these tube-type tires, notice that these discs, the wheels, are not wooden spoke, which would be very typical of the era. And the big deal for me was finding tubes that actually came out through the holes. So while the valve stems are straight, they make a 90-degree turn. Otherwise, I'd be underneath every time I wanted to check the tire pressure. This car is utter simplicity of assembly. I'd like to tell you it has 7 moving parts, but that would be a lie. Maybe it has 9. It's pretty simple. Obviously, the shift pattern is not what we're used to, but we have a late model amp gauge. This is an original switch, on, off, and lights. This is to dim the little candle that works on the speedometer, and that's about it. It wasn't much more than that.
Yeah, exactly. How's the car to drive?
The car drives simply. I have a problem though driving it because I'd like to keep both hands on the wheel, but this generates so many miles per mile that I'm busy waving and steering with one hand. But it brings a lot of joy to people who see it, and I must say, it certainly brings a lot of joy to make others happy. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy the rest of the car show.